Hi everyone, it's Vic from At Forever Scrapping again, and I'm just sharing with you today my 6th layout that I've made using the Think Happy kit from Lottie Loves Paper. I really wanted to use some of the lovely 12 by 12 sheets that were in the kit on this layout, so I seem to have stayed with the 6 by 8 pad more than anything this time. And the bird paper in it and the sheet of paper that had the really cute dinky yellow and blue hearts on it really caught my eye, and I decided that it would fit these two photographs that I found perfectly. I took these photographs last summer. We spent a couple of weeks on the Isles of Scilly with my family and mum. It's where she used to live, so she was really keen to share her childhood memories of the islands with my daughters and I. And one day we took a trip to Abbey Gardens on Tresco, which were beautiful. And after having a walk around, decided we'd reward ourselves with a cup of tea and cake, as you do. Everybody loves cake, especially in my family. You can't have a cup of tea without cake or a scone or scone. There's always different ways of saying it, but we say scone here. And some young sparrows and a young robin decided to make themselves known to us. As they got braver and braver, they started to eat the cake crumbs out of our hands, which was amazing, absolutely amazing, and it delighted my girls no end. So the bird paper really fitted the theme of this cute little sparrow eating, I can't remember if it's off of Isabella or Caris, but off of one of their hands. So as you can see in the picture, there's like a lime green saucer and a little bit of green foliage in those photographs. So I wanted to bring some green into the page as well, just to highlight the saucer and that in the photographs and just tie it in a bit more all together. So on the reverse of that bird paper was a real pretty green, and I used that to back my photos with. I then also found some really nice darker green paper in the 6 by 8 pad from the Slice of Life collection, and thought that would bring a bit more brightness into the page. So with my two 12 by 12 strips that I'd cut, not 12 by 12 but 12-inch long strips that I'd cut to place my photos on top of, decided that I wanted to add a little bit more texture to those layers, so decided to just freely tear the edges in random places along the edges of those strips, and did the same with some of the green paper from that 6 by 8 pad. The reason that I did this was just to add a little bit more depth and texture and interest to the page. So I wasn't quite sure on the placement of that big paper wedge down the middle of the page. So as you can see, I moved around a bit and decided on its final resting place to be down the left-hand side of the page. So once I decided that, then I was quite happy to start sticking things down. I tend to either stick everything down at the last minute so I can move things around a lot whilst I'm doing my process, or once I know that's where it's going to be, then I'll start to stick down a little bit, just so it doesn't all keep moving around as I'm creating my layouts. So I use the branding strips here and cut them up just to pop behind my photographs, just so they don't look like they're floating in the middle of the page. And then I decided this time I would hand draw my title. So I took another sheet of paper out of the 6 by 8 pad and just with a pencil roughly drew some letters. I wasn't too sure what my title was going to be. I did think maybe Jack Sparrow, but I decided that it would be So Tweet. because they really were sweet. So I had a little play on words there. So I've drawn the word tweet, and now I'm just cutting the letters out. It was quite a pale blue paper, so I decided that it wasn't standing out quite enough from my layout. As a title, I wanted to be a bit bolder, so I put a thin black line around the edge of the letters just to add a little bit of definition and make them pop from my page a little more. So you can see I'm just having a little fiddle around to see where I want those letters to be. I wasn't 100% sure. They moved around a little bit. I knew I wanted it at the bottom of the page, but I did faff a little bit with them as to where it was going to be. So it really was quite an experience. I've never had wild birds come up and eat out of my hand before. I wish it would happen in my back garden, because I love nature and getting close to them, but it was just, it was amazing. It was a shame when we ran out of cake crumbs, really. So once I decided where that title was going to be, then I could have some fun by embellishing my layout. I thought this chipboard sticker from Chamel's Sparkle collection was fantastic, with the traffic lights and the pigeon. I thought that fitted really well, and that was from in my own stash. That wasn't in the kit, so that had to go on. And then I used some of the cute bird related stickers from the Paige Taylor Evans Truly Grateful collection. Some of the fun word stickers from the Amy Tangerine Slice of Life collection as well. They all tied in really, really nicely. And also just added a little bit more colour to my page, because it was all quite samey with the greens and blues. So again, I'm using that heart stamp. I've seemed to be navigating towards it quite a lot on my layouts, but it matched the heart paper in the collection nicely. So try to colour coordinate again with some distress inks that were yellows and blues. They weren't standing out too much on my page, so I did go around some of the hearts with a black pen just to add a little bit more definition to some of them. So decided that's definitely where my photographs are going now, committing to where everything is on the page. So just sticking those down. Don't know if anyone else has ever experienced having birds eaten out of their hands. Like when I was younger, you could go to Trafalgar Square and feed the pigeons and things, but I don't think you're actually allowed to do it now, which is a shame, because it was really a touristy destination to be, but to just be sat in a garden quietly, enjoying a cup of tea and cake and having these little birds being so fearless to come up and have something to eat was just remarkable. It's just adding a few rub-ons from the Chamel Sparkle collection there as well. They fitted the colour scheme really nicely with the rest of my layout, and so they also had some cute little birds that were flying around, some bluebirds, so I decided to add those on. I don't think there's anything wrong with adding little bits from your own stash to kits and collections that you've bought. If they go together, or if you like them together, then there's no rules with scrapbooking. Anything goes, really. So I think that's why I like it. It's a nice way to express yourself, isn't it? And as long as you like it, that's the main thing. So I thought I was finished, but then I decided that I didn't really like all of that white space that was down the right hand side of my layout there. So decided I would mirror the bird paper that was down the left hand side with a thin strip of it, and again added a few torn edges and a few bits of layering just to add a little bit more interest, and just really so that the page flowed a bit more. I didn't really think that it was flowing very much with all that space on the right hand side, and I felt that it tied the page together nicely, and your eye went across the page rather than just being centered in one area. It also gave me the chance to do a little bit more fussy cutting with, I don't think I've got very many of those hearts left now from the paper in the 6x8 pad. I think they've gone on pretty much every layout I've made so far with this kit, but yes, so I cut some more out just to add a little bit more layering, and yeah, I think that's really about it. I have a feeling I might have added some flowers as well afterwards, because I decided it needed just a few more pops of bright colour to lay out. It wasn't quite bright enough for me. So anyway, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you've liked it and the story behind this layout. If you do, then please give me a thumbs up. It would be really appreciated. And any comments as well. I do try and reply to everyone if I can. And yes, have a lovely day. Thanks for watching. Bye.